Hey, what's up everyone? This is DCSG 81 and today I'm happy to bring to you guys another comparison of the Iron Man Mark 85, which is the s.h.figuarts versus the Marvel Legends. Okay, so I know that a lot of you has been waiting for this one, that you want to see the comparison between these two brands for this great character. Okay, so I'm doing it now. So as usual, my way is to look at the overall look, and then we'll take a look into the accessories, the articulations, the issues with them, and lastly will be the price point, and then we'll have the verdict. Okay, so before I go any further, this one will be purely my own opinion only, so of course you can disagree with me at any point of time, but it's just an opinion. So if you can agree with me, that's fine, but if you don't agree with me, that's also fine, because I'm just giving you guys some insight of the comparison between these two great figures. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so first of all, for the overall look, I'm just going to show you the overall figure, as well as you can see I'm actually putting some pictures of the reference. This is the Mark 85. Some of it are artwork, some of it are fans painting, which I think is looking very accurate to the real thing in the movie. So you can actually do some comparison right now. So I quite agree with some of you who actually pointed out that the Marvel Legends actually look much better proportionally, which I do agree. As now I'm looking at the reference pictures, is because the s.h.figuarts one do have the hourglass look, where you can see the reference picture. He actually looking he doesn't have the hourglass like any ladies have, so he's actually more of this shape, but you can see this one is like a very big curve around the waist here. So I do agree on that point. So yep, so then some of you also point out some I'm not sure, I think it's the shoulder and the shoulder blade. Actually for the Mark 85, he actually looking much more natural in terms of the anatomy of the body. This one actually looks pretty weird, whereby it just came down and then he have this kind of slanting. So it actually looks good as in action figures, but this one looks good in terms of like in terms of human natural human body anatomy. So in this case I do agree again. Yep, so this overall look, I think he actually looks pretty good as compared to the s.h.figuarts ones. Okay, so now let's take off the reference picture. We'll take a look at the actual product now. So as you can see, both shining off, I'm letting the legs to shine off, both of them, and this one of course he's looking much better in terms of the glossiness, and especially you can see on the red part, he actually looking very good. This one is shining off some of the light, like I mentioned. It actually looks kind of metallic in my previous review for him, so he's looking good as well. But this guy is actually looking much better. Okay, so he actually for s.h.figuarts, you kind of looks like a more premium kind of figures, of course with the price you paid as well. So, and for the art reactor, you can see that it actually is in blue, and they also have some design inside, if you can see. Okay, there's some sculpture inside. It actually kind of look see-through, but for this, unfortunately, they do not paint anything, but this can be easily fixed. You can just grab a blue marker and just paint it, and it looks great. And also the some argue that the eyes for the Mark 85 s.h.figuarts one have some blue on it. Yeah, I can see there are some blue inside, which they claim is not right. It should be white, I think. And this one nails it for the Marvel Legends. And also the gold color, previously I mentioned for this review, I said it should be this gold. but a lot of people claim that the gold shouldn't be this bright, it should be this one, which after I'm looking at the reference picture, I kind of agree that this should be the one. Yep. So overall look wise, I would really say is that okay, sorry about that. Before I get to my final verdict, I would say is that in terms of detail, the level of detail, both actually are detailing pretty well. Okay, of course with the paintwork, the s.h.figuarts wins, but for the details of the level of details in terms of sculpture, the Marvel Legend doesn't really lose much. They also have that kind of details, but of course the s.h.figuarts one you can see much better. Okay, so it's kind of like this one have its own pros and this one also have its own pros. So but in terms of overall look, I do think the Marvel Legend actually looks much better if they incorporated the paint into it. This one will look marvelous. So any customizer who actually try their best to repaint this guy and with this kind of paint work, I believe this one will actually stand out even more. So for my case, I will say that the Marvel Legend wins. Okay, so the next one will be the articulations, and as you can see, I already posted them in the superhero landing pose that you can see right now. So it's very clear that the s.h.figuarts will always have the best in terms of articulations. Their joints are always has been top notch. So it's impossible, I would say it's quite impossible that I say is that the Marvel Legend actually have a better articulations compared to the s.h.figuarts. So I wouldn't drag any longer or any further for the articulation. I will say that the s.h.figuarts wins. Okay, so the next section will be the accessories. I can't display everything here for you guys to see, but I'll actually show you some pictures from my previous review for him as well as for the Marvel Legend ones. So you can see on the screen right now that so for the s.h.figuarts, it actually comes with lots of hands and also some of the blast effects for the hands and for the legs. Okay, and as for the Marvel Legend, he also comes with some blast effect, but he only have two pair of hands to interchange. One is the closed fist and one is the open hands, and that's all. So I'll go through. So in terms of hands, of course the Marvel Legend lost to him, the s.h.figuarts, because he comes with a lot more pair of hands. Okay, but for the blast effects, I would say that you can see this one is from the s.h.figuarts, while this is from the Marvel Legends. So in terms of detail of paints, of course the s.h.figuarts will win because of the level of, you can see it's actually a little translucent, and the paint is also much better than the Marvel Legend one. Is just a soft rubber. This one is a hard plastic. Okay, so in terms of level of details, the blast effect, of course the Marvel Legends, of course the s.h.figuarts one will win, but I actually kind of like this one better because of the bluish paint looks actually more, somehow it just seems to be better. Okay, and for this guy, he actually comes with a very important accessory, which is this Endgame gauntlet, which is for the Build-A-Figure Hawk, as many of you told me that, but I actually managed to test it on the s.h.figuarts Thanos, and it works as well, so which is very good. Yep. So I would say this is a very important, I mean it's a very nice accessory from him. So in this case, I will actually say that the Marvel Legend wins because he have lots of hand, which is okay, but the this blast effect is nothing special. We have this almost in every Iron Man that they release, so even if they don't give this one, you can always share with the other Iron Man. But this guy here actually comes with a gauntlet. I mean, do you think that s.h.figuarts will give this gauntlet? No, right? Yeah, so in this case the Marvel Legend wins. Okay, so the next one will be the issues. Okay, let's start with the Marvel Legends ones. As you all know, since it's still fresh in your mind, if you watch my review, I did mention that he have a few problems in different boxes, but the main one, of course, is the arc reactor isn't painted, so it's a paint issue, and then there are some scratches here and there. Although mine is pretty minimal, but I do see a lot of other boxes they have some issues on scratches on the mask, which is pretty obvious, and the mouth as well. Some you can see the black lines, right? But some of it is just painted halfway, and then he looks like he have an open mouth inside, which looks very funny. Yeah, so other than that, yeah, so it's a paint issues for the Marvel Legends. But for the s.h.figuarts, he do have his own paint issues as well, and also there are some I would say this is due to the mold that you can see. It looks some like a rush job, very rough surface over, especially on the tights, you can see. Yeah, it looks like the mold isn't perfectly being done, and then they just use it to build this figure. And then you can see there are some portion here that is very rough. Looks like it's a rush job to finish this guy and put into the market. Okay, so for the paint wise, still quite okay compared to the I mean, they do have his reputation of making sure the paints are alright, but this one the mold is pretty bad. Okay, you can see there are some like unfinished ones. Yep, things like that. Okay, so for this case, I would say that the s.h.figuarts do have a more serious problem compared to this one, because this one is just a matter of paint. If you can repaint it, then the problem will be gone, but this one you even if you repaint it, you can't do anything about, because the problem is with the mold. Yeah, so even if you repaint it, it will still be there. So in this case, I would say that the Marvel Legend wins again. Okay, so lastly is the price point. This is also a very straightforward things. s.h.figuarts is at least, this piece itself, I think is at least 3 to 4 times the price of the Marvel Legends. Even before the price goes skyrocket, is at least double or triple the price of the Marvel Legends, if I'm not wrong. Now I think it's at least 4 to 5 times of this figure itself. So yep, it's very very expensive, and this is very very affordable. So so if you are saying a price point, I would say is that some of you can argue that the price doesn't justify this figure. I would say yes and no. Yes is because I think it looks very beautiful, even though he have the hourglass, but overall he's still looking very you can see right now he's looking a very premium kind of feels. Unless you're a very good customizer, you can actually paint this guy like this, and then this will looks very good. Okay, so yep, so if you are a collector like me who can't do all this repainting stuff, and you got to live with the paint, of course I would say this one will be a much better one to collect. But if you can't afford it because the price now is crazy, this one is not a very bad choice. It's actually quite good if you are not into those who actually likes to pose crazy dynamic poses. This is actually looking pretty good. But if you are into those that you want to have a superhero landing or some very crazy stuff flying pose, then this is the one. So price point wise, of course the Marvel Legends wins again because he's cheap, affordable, and he doesn't look half as bad. Okay, the final verdict, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the s.h.figuarts only have 1 point, which is for the articulations, while the Marvel Legend actually wins in all the other categories, which is the overall look, the accessories, the price point, as well as the lesser issues one. So it's 1 versus 4. So in this case, the Marvel Legends Mark 85 wins. Okay, so I'm pretty surprised to say this, but it is, he wins. Yep, yay. Okay, my final verdict is, if you can afford it, like I said earlier, if you can afford it and you're very much into this kind of look and you like to play around with the dynamic poses, then s.h.figuarts is the one for you. But if you just want a decent Mark 85 with affordable price and also with a great accessory like the gauntlet, and as well as the overall look which doesn't have the hourglass, then I think you should go for the Marvel Legend ones. Yep, so that's all for my comparison. I hope you do enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and of course leave me a comment if you have any further question to say about this comparison. If you agree with me, of course I love to hear from you. If you don't agree with me also, I love to hear from you. What do you don't agree on? And lastly, I hope you can actually subscribe to my channel because I have new videos like this almost every single day. Until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.